Education is a catalyst for human social capital development, driving long-term economic growth, as stated by an article written and published by Brookings. Many people connect educational success with a college degree, but real-world success begins with those skills that we learn early on, not just through our gen eds like math and reading, but communication and problem-solving skills that we learn through extracurriculars and many more. My uncle was the first to come and build his own business here in the United States along many other immigrants in my family, and he did not have a degree to do this. He had a well-rounded early education, though, that gave him the skills he needed to fulfill his goals here in the United States. In Chicago, the CPS enrollment and curriculum crisis directly affects the economy because it influences the workplace readiness, direct funding, and community growth. My uncle acquired many skills among communication, reading, basic math, and analytic skills, and many more that helped him influence someone to spend their money on him so he could spend his money on someone and something else that paid the taxes that funded many resources that we have in our communities at not much of an additional cost. Thus, education, once we acquire it, it brings something back to our community. Today, I would like to talk to you all about how the economics of Chicago are directly affected by the low quality and low enrollment rates of our CPS district. With our lowering economy, many people propose budget cuts, but this isn't the exact way we should go. It forces schools to consider what really is required in the curriculum and puts many of those fundamental aspects on the back burner. Yes, essential core classes like math, English, and social studies are still going to maintain in the curriculum. But let's be honest, I know that all of us just stuck through those classes till we got to our more exciting classes and extracurriculars. So less extracurriculars means that students are just waiting for classes to finish and are stuck with no real sentiment behind those classes and are stuck with no real connection with how they're going to use these skills in the real world. And when we think of even the most studious of students that are trying to put forward their academic abilities, it's harder for them to display those academic abilities to get into better colleges and such when we have less opportunities for them to, as many of the more advanced math and curriculum classes are extracurriculars. Which leads us to our second problem here. More families are moving out of the CPS district for better educational opportunities for their kids and their families. For example, I talked to my soon-to-be mother and sister-in-law, Sonia Hernandez, and she stated that she often debates leaving the CPS district as she is Hispanic and grew up with many opportunities to have Spanish courses and Spanish built into their curriculum that she sees is no longer an option in many CPS schools. With more people leaving for many of these reasons, that leaves less people spending and earning in our economy that is giving back to our community. And according to the Illinois Policy article, trapped in Chicago's worst public schools, success in school is a direct link to success later in life, with more steady employment, greater wages, and higher self-confidence. After conducting my own questionnaire as well, 100% of submissions agreed and stated, although core classes are necessary, elective courses open students to more opportunities later in life after high school. There are a couple solutions we can implement to this, including lifting the charter school cap. And although it may seem odd, charter schools actually have a lower consumption of budget. So when we look at how they receive funding, it's based off of student enrollment. So it kind of closes that gap for the money spent per student, which is what's really eating away at CPS schools. And this also allows for students to kind of pick and choose, or parents to pick and choose where their students are earning their education. It allows them to kind of see what best suits their child's needs, and it also gives more opportunities for teachers to switch up their jobs. It allows for more job openings, thus having CPS schools spend less and sort of cut out what they can when it comes to staff. This also means that we must continue to look at and revisit the priorities of each school, because with potential budget cuts, we need to see what we can work with. Budget cuts often mean that we're not going to receive any money even if there isn't a budget cut. If these threats continue, then it's best that we check and see where in our budget we can direct the money that we are receiving to put into other areas of schooling, of the schooling system, to better the education opportunities we can offer the students in the CPS district. Improper budgeting only means that when we do increase that budget, we're going to end up wasting that money and end up in more debt, because the same issues recycle over and over. While being interviewed by a reporter, J.P. Prickster stated, "At every local level, every school is going to have to do whatever it required to protect those students. I will stand with them in that endeavor, but there is no extra money." This is furthering my point that if J.B. Prickster is stating we have no money, we probably have no money for schools, so we should probably redirect and check out what we're doing with each budget for schools. But it is ultimately up to the citizens of Chicago to advocate for these changes with our voices and each vote that we make. Chicago is in debt, and it is no secret that the low education, low enrollment, and curriculum crisis of CPS is a contribution to that. That is why we must stay informed, because each voice and each vote that we input matters. With that, I leave you with this quote from Illinois Policy: "Forcing students to attend schools that routinely fail them is wrong and can leave scars that last well into the future. They need relief, not broken promises about how things will change for the better 5 or 10 years down the road. Their lives depend on it, and I believe so does Chicago's future." Thank you.